So sitting down and doing videos, live feeds, just coming on and answering questions or talking about things I'm feeling is honestly on my list for next year, but I am being inspired and guided and quite honestly pushed to sit down and just hit record and start. I do know that spirit has a tendency of pushing me into the uncomfortable, so I do feel that this is their way of just having me start getting the first one done and hopefully relaxing into the energy so that I can become just a pure and clear channel for inspiration or just to discuss clearly things that I'm thinking or things that I would like to say. I do know that I wanted to come on. The first thing I did online and video wise would be about just acknowledging and expanding our spirit and our power. I do feel that there's not enough emphasis on our spirit and the idea and the concept of building our power in terms of working with spirit and just understanding that we are all spirit, having a human experience for this short period of time here on earth, but in essence, we are all spiritual beings from another realm that have come here to learn, to grow, to love, to understand. So I think the more we just can acknowledge our spirit, the brighter we can expand and build our light and burn bright. And the brighter we can be and the bigger we can make our light as a beacon in the dark, I do feel like we attract the spirit world, and I do think they seek us out as they see us as powerful beings, perfect in every way. But I do feel that it is our job to expand our power and understand our power and to step into the realm of being powerful is so important for spirit communication. I often sort of laugh when I see readings and the medium will say, oh, the spirit, it's so faint, I can hardly hear, they're pulling away, the link isn't strong enough, and they sort of immediately put the blame on spirit, when I really do feel in most cases it's really because the medium is just not in their power or their power is weakening. And if they would just take a moment, recollect themselves, and step back in the power and then relink, I do think the communication would flow a lot easier. The beginning of my understanding of building the power comes from the exercise building your power and sitting in your power, which upon researching I realized was given to us by an amazing medium who has now passed, named Glyn Edwards, and he was given it through from the spirit world through the transcommunication of Mark Webb, which I just loved. That really hooked me right there when I realized that this exercise given to us by spirit to us to help us expand and build our power. And I do believe in the infinite wisdom of spirit that they did realize that just building the power and expanding our light would in effect help the communication between the spirit world and the physical world. I thought that was just amazing. So if any of you have sat with me in classes or these attunement sessions that I offer, you should have realized that in anything I do, there is a good segment of sitting in your power, building your light, expanding your light to the point where your light just fills the entire world, the entire universe. And then you attract the light of God from your light. And by God, this could be whatever your belief systems are. I say God, but a lot of people will call it universal power, collective consciousness, source, it doesn't matter. But I find when we expand our power and brighten our light, we do attract God, and we link with God's light, and we become even more powerful. And then when we can sit with our Creator for a few minutes and meld and blend with their light, I do feel this power stays with us and keeps us stronger and keeps us brighter and bigger. When I first started sitting in the power, I was able to do it like 6 days a week for about an hour at a time. I do recommend this for anyone starting on their journey. It is a commitment to sit for your power, but I do find it so important and so beneficial. The longer you do it, the less time you need, and you can bring this building of your power into your readings, into your life. And like I said before, if you're doing a reading and the information is faint or confusing, spirit world does not confuse, and they do not send mixed messages. I do feel it's so important, if you're not fully understanding or getting the link and the information correctly, just that simple act of stepping back and in your mind just reconnecting and building your power, you'll see the link will improve and the information will flow. Yeah, I mean, this is really it for the beginnings of mediumship and anything you'll do in the spiritual realm of work, healing, any sort of light work, I feel. Just building and expanding your power and understanding that we are responsible for building our power and we have to protect our power is a very important piece, I believe, in the stages of development. And if any of you think there's an end to the development, there's not. This development and this unfoldment path is a constant learning experience. You should never stop learning. You should never stop reading, taking classes. Obviously, you need to be careful who you choose as teachers. I will say from my experience, I've had amazing teachers, and I've had the honor to work with some of the best mediums out there, and also teachers. Just because you're a medium doesn't make you a good teacher. But on the other side of it, if you get a bad teacher, for you, this can derail you for a long time. And I've seen it, and I've experienced it. So please just let your power be your guide, and you will be guided into the right place, to the right people, to the right material to read, to watch. But I do feel this is all interconnected to your power and keeping your light bright and strong. And you will be guided correctly. Sometimes you will be guided into learning experiences, which might not be pleasant, but are necessary. But you will learn, you will see that the more you expand and build your power, you'll know which way to go. And you'll know what's right for you and what's not right for you. And what's not right for you, that's your choice. You have the right to go the way you want to go. And just let your interests be your development. And just be guided by your intuition, by your gut feeling, which I tend to think can be our guides speaking with us, but that's a whole other conversation. And just go to where your interests take you, and you'll see it's the right way to go. I've explored many aspects of mediumship, some that I had never heard of when I first started, some that I wanted nothing to do with, but they found me, and I just, if I was interested, I tried it. If it kept being thrown in front of my path a few times, I said, okay, let me just see. I don't have to like it, but let me at least learn what it is before I choose to judge it. And most times I've loved what I've learned, and it's just added to my knowledge, and I do believe my power. So to loop this all back, please start with your power, and please start with honoring your spirit. For your spirit will never guide you in the wrong way. And sometimes just having the faith and being able to surrender to your spirit, to the spirit world, and just really feel like you're taking their hand and let spirit guide you. And they will take you to where you need to go, and they will take you to what you need to learn, and they will put lessons in front of you. And then once these lessons are complete, you'll get a whole new layer of lessons. But I think that's the beauty of development, is there is no end, and there's always something to learn, and there are always different opinions to hear. And just try to remain open, but always remember to stay true to your spirit and your soul. And yeah, just sit in your power, sit in your power, sit in your power. Long story made short.